This is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done. Of course, go to the Weird Renegade website. Listen to past shows of Blog Talk Radio. People keep asking me to bring back Blog Talk Radio. They want me to hit on some stuff and do a couple of hour show. I'll think about it. However, I'm just back today because people been hitting me up talking about the energies and the distractions that have been going on. So let's talk about that. However, you already know Wayward is about that revenge, redemption, responsibility, that spell work, that occultism, because we already know art is occultism. Occultism is an art. But is occultism a mental illness? What is it? Let's just kind of talk about what the fuck has been going on. So there's a lot of energies, and you guys read it the way you want to read it, because the thing about it is that this background is for giggles and laughs, but I'm going to be a little visual. So we're going to talk about some of the energies that have been going on, right? So let's talk about Mr. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs for just a quick moment, because the spirit said to angle this way, right? Angle it this way. So you see behind me, the spirit said the tower is falling. I told you guys. When that lightning happened, crucifixion was coming, right? At the same time over here, we have the emperor. So that means somebody most high that's above that ass, okay? But I kind of see a Virgo up in it. Then I see a high priestess spirit is showing that they trying to fuck up his whole riches and shit that I'm looking at right here. Then you see the sorrow energy. They gonna get that nigga. But there's a whole bunch of motherfuckers behind him trying to backstab the fuck out of him. Because you see right here, the moon. The moon is the key point. Because I'm going to get to that fucking moon. But you can't tame this motherfucker. He might as well just hang that motherfucking shit up. And then you got the wand shit going on. There's a whole motherfuckers behind that goddamn shit. Okay? We just looking at it. But he's going to get brokenhearted. Because there's a whole bunch of daggers in that heart. He going to find that it's somebody most close to him is trying to give inside information. We better look at them sons. He sat up and got with that Asian woman. Somebody most high, most close. That's been a mole and talking, huh? Shit. We're going to talk real talk right. Then there's spirit. Right there, something is coming back on him spiritually, in the spiritual life and his spiritual being. Meaning, I told you the dead is going to rise again. The dead is rising. You guys read the way you want to read. You got to remember, I'm an occultist. You read it the way you want to read it. The bottom line is that the dead and risen and tearing down them fucking towers, bitch. His life. People be up there playing, talking about the dead this, the dead that. The dead will come back and fuck you up. Okay? Let's talk some energies. So we can kind of get the feel of what the fuck has been going on. Let me tell you about my weekend and shit like that. So as you guys know, originally, I went to school to be a psychologist, right? And I was taking the process, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be a sex therapist, right? So I did all this studying and this and that. Then I realized, no, I don't. These motherfuckers are out of their goddamn mind, right? So let's just kind of open up some frequencies. So I went to this energy, right? Just hear me out. You know me. I'm a Cancer. You know we nosy, and I've been telling people about this, and we get ourselves into shit, right? So here's the fucking energy. I seen this museum. The museum is in Los Angeles. I don't even know, I'm going to say human rights, okay? And shit like that, right? So anyway, I said, I want to understand the darker part of psychology, because I said something is suspicious in this universal soul, especially how they're trying to remove and take spirit out of every fucking thing. So anyway, I go to this museum. It's in Los Angeles, human da 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 da, and the darker side of psychology, right? So I go in there, the lady greets me at the door, and I said, her energy is very interesting. But I could tell she was about that life. So I enter in, there's two individuals, very nice, at the front desk, a white guy with one eye, cataracts in one eye, and then a black gentleman, right? So we talking this and that. You know, he and the black guy, he's explaining to me the background, the process, and so on. I rock with it. So anyway, I walk inside, right? But wait a minute, before that, I noticed this lady in like the bookstore, whatever it was, and I looked at her, and the spirit said, she's going to be a problem. She's going to snitch you the fuck out. And I was like, what? No. So anyway, I go into the museum, right? So you know me, I'm recording. I want to report. I want to show, right? And the energies and the frequencies of psychology, right? So anyway, I walk up in there and I recorded. Lo and behold, there go that white girl. She looks at me like this. She hurries up. She bustles away. I said, what the fuck? Why is she doing that? Y'all, I'm trying to report. I'm trying to talk. All of a sudden, the guy who has the cataracts in the eye, he said, you gonna have to stop recording. I said, okay, I'll stop. He said, now delete what you recorded. I said, bitch. I said, excuse me. He said, and he stood over me. He said, I need you to delete what you've recorded now. I said, you was just a man being nice to me. Now you didn't. So I had to go back to what I read because it said that the organization is under Scientology. I said, Jesus, how do I get out of this? And the spirit said, just kind of go along with it because you need to get what you need to get sometime. And I was like, So then I was like, do I need to leave? He said, yes, you need to leave, but you need to delete what you have on that phone, though. Because he's saying, shit, nigga, you can leave, but you gotta go. You gotta go. But you gotta delete that. I said, shit. So I walked out, and I was telling the black guy, I said, look, I gotta go. And he was like, why? And I explained to him. He said, oh, and he explained. He was like, okay, I didn't tell her that you can't record, you can't, do video, whatever. And he explained to me, he said, that's because people are basically censorship and they don't agree on what they are projecting or putting out there and reporting. And he said a couple of times that people, I guess, have came and took pictures, ended up in the bed talking about they was being held against their will. So that's when I knew that was connected to Scientology. He said people just give the whole energy a bad rap because they'll try to say that the reportings and the information is unfounded. And so I understood. And he looked at me. He said, now you know you're going to have to delete that, right? I was like, oh, Jesus. So I said, okay. And so I deleted. And so I went on about my business. I was able to go back in, y'all, because I deleted. So I walked in and I'm looking at, I'm going to say the exhibits and the energy, right? I said to myself, this is everything I've been talking about. I just talked about this in the video. I've been understanding psychology on the darker side. I'm not looking at it as it is a help. or whatever, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of the darker energy. I have psychologists in my family. I have doctors in my family. That's what I wanted to do. But I realized there was this whole other energy of psychology that I felt that wasn't right. That was the darker energy. So that tells me that my plan and my road is not to focus on what they're doing or what they tell us psychology is. I'm to focus on the darker part of the energies and keep it real, keep it right, and understand what the fuck is this, right? So when I was looking at, and I can tell it was investment in this energy, and it had clinical backup. It showed what the fuck it is. And I learned, and it confirmed that we are a social experiment in this universal soul. Nothing is real. And I know a lot of psychologists are very interested in Sigmund Freud. And so, because that's what they throw, right? When you're in your teachings. But when you understand what the fuck a Sigmund Freud is, you will understand that most of these psychologists who are studying you, who are medicating you, who are telling you all this information, they crazy as fuck. So you got fucking psych ward motherfuckers out here saying you crazy and they crazy. They don't want to talk about this. This is why they are censoring and trying to basically edit the voice so you don't have a mind to see it. So I'm going to suggest you do your own research. I gave you bits and pieces and details of where this is. More or less, you can also do a virtual tour wherever you're at. And I'm just going to say, type in the Darker Side of Psychology Museum. Okay? But what I'm saying to you, as I was going through the energies, it talked about the Holocaust and the psychological warfare that the Holocaust produced, because it's showing us that the Holocaust and the energies behind it was a social experiment. First of all, this goes way back. The supposed slavery, all of it is psychological. All of it is testing. All of it is a game. All of it is to study human movements and how far they can make us go low, how far they can make us go crazy, what they can do, test dummies, all of this shit. It gives you the evolution of psych drugs in the 1800s. Matter of fact, it goes further back than that, the 1700s. Remember I said to you guys, I said, it is weird how you can just go somewhere, take over people's land, and they cooperate with you. Because these motherfuckers been out here creating drugs and mayhem, putting drugs in the water, putting drugs in the food. Shit, what is it to get some powdery substance and put it in people's blankets and have them fucked up and high? All we're seeing in Africa is the recycled shit that they've been doing. Is just modern day shit intensified. I had somebody in my comments tell me that I teach old shit and this is new shit. No, it's not. It is old shit. It's just tweaked, bitch. I'm trying to tell you how to maneuver in this universal soul, and you over here talking about what is old, what is new. No, they use old tactics in new versions of life. But it's the same shit. And when you look at this, this shit is real because we are different specimens and beings, but they are enforcing us into this captivity of psychological death, which is spell work, right? So anyway, you start to understand dynamics of how they take over people, how they put people under mind control. That in this world, they believe if you have any issues with you, you are to be discarded. You understand, they talk about the first asylum, what's it called, Bethel something hospital in the UK was the first asylum facility. Maryland has hell of them. We have to understand, if we take color off the table and understand as human beings and as a society, they've been fucking us up for a minute. Everybody was a fucking test dummy. White women, white men, children, dogs, cats, sheep, cattle, doesn't matter. Then it gets bigger. Then you have the black people. Then you have the other Slavic people. You have all of this energy. Throwing gonorrhea, throwing chlamydia, putting them on psych drugs, controlling the mechanism. Then you have these motherfuckers sitting up there doing lobotomy, execution, or electrode testing to see how you move, how you react, gutting you, hysterectomies. Eugenics was not created by Margaret Sanger. You have to understand, Margaret Sanger may not have been real. That bitch may have came from a fucking psych ward. You don't know what that is. She's just the name behind it. But I'm going to guarantee you, she's not the one with all that shit they saying. That shit is not real. Eugenics have been going on, and neutralization have been going on forever. The Holocaust was eugenics. The supposed slavery was eugenics. The neutralization of the black Indians, eugenics. Do you understand interracial dating is a form of eugenics? Because you're killing off one energy, one DNA for something else? That's above y'all pay grade. I'm going to let you sit on that one for a motherfucking minute. What type of psychological, back in the day when they set up, what is it, the test dummies, the dollies, and all of that shit? Let me just hear. Let me see this. Okay, so we have this energy of IVF, right? IVF is another form of eugenics because it's still knocking out something. It's knocking out the male figure. Somebody was just telling me, a spiritual constituent was telling me how somebody she knows had their girlfriend or wife had the IVS, lesbians. To find out this person who donated their sperm, he has over the 30 plus children out there and more. What the fuck is that? We have to start to understand what the fuck is going on and the psychological frequencies behind it, and where do medicines come in. We have psychos who believe in BDSM and S&M. That's where BDSM and S&M come from, psychology. It comes from people studying you. The sick minds of these individuals. Real shit. Okay? We have to stop playing with side. You have this silly ass energy. What is it here? We have a silly ass energy moving around in the universal soul. Let me see what it is. That basically black women, black girls have attitude problems. And because we have attitude problems, we either have autism or we have fucking ADHD. Where in the fuck did that come from? Another reason to medicate us. That's a bunch of propaganda and bullshit. Everything to always attack the black woman, what the fuck we are and what the fuck we ain't. They attack our looks. So we go get plastic surgery, BBLs and all that shit and fuck up our features. Now, before that, they wanted to medicate us saying we had issues. Now, they have this woman, Neurotactical. Go look her up on Instagram, Neurotactical. And she said, my attitude problem was irritability from untreated and inattentive ADHD and autism. Bitch, you lying. Bitch, you stupid. Bitch, this is propaganda. Who in the fuck is paying to drug black women? That's eugenics. Because if we're on these type of medications, it fuck up our fertility. Not giving medical advice, we have to know what it is. Because I know too many people who are on psych drugs and it fucks up their fertility. This is to take us the fuck out. Who gives a fuck if we have a fucking attitude problem? They already up in these schools again talking about our kids need to calm down and relax and do this and that. Fuck you. I guess I have ADHD and autism. They up here telling us what the fuck we go through in our life don't mean nothing because we on the verge of retardation. In so many words, we have psychological issues. And then you millennials come up with these fucking new words and shit that don't mean a fucking thing. You got to understand what's going on. This is all a tactic. We have these mad doctors who have done all this fucking research. Do you understand? How do they know how to fuck you over unless they take human beings to fuck you over? Did we forget that shit that was going on in Mexico when they had all the Haitians incarcerated? And they was over there using them as test dummies, the men, the women, and the children. And the woman was yelling and asking for help, saying, please help us. They're torturing us in here. And the baby was crying. She was crying. What is it over there in Mexico to sit up and starve them and keep drugging them? Because they good for that one too. What is it? Was that Guantanamo, whatever bay? All of that shit. You seen that psychological bullshit the military was doing to the Middle Eastern people when they had them all incarcerated and had them all stacked up naked and showing their ass? That is fucking mental disorder. That's why people were talking about that these people that's protecting us or protecting the president, all of them people have fucking psychological issues. That's why they was talking about what the fucking somebody was saying to me, hey, I heard and know somebody in the CIA, person crazy as fuck, up there every morning, white feces on the fucking mirror. Stop playing with me with these people. We just talking psychological shit for a fucking moment before I really get into what the hell I'm getting into. Because if we got this shit going on, how dare them say we have attitude problems? What the fuck you talking about? We go working up in a fucking workplace and you got a fucking bitch sitting up there playing games with you and want you about that job lying and shit and setting your black ass up. What the fuck you talking about? I'm going to tell you this. Working in a workplace make you want to kill a bitch. Allegedly. But it's true. It will drive you mad. And now they want to teach you how to cope. There is no coping mechanism. That's like when I'm hearing this shit about this HOA shit and you have private citizens up there dinging you for some dumbass shit, abuse of power. You can't even live. You leave work under psychological warfare to come home, the home that you bought or you renting that's an HOA, and motherfuckers are at you. They up in your garage though. They up there saying that your elders, your mother, father can't come live with you. I said, what the fuck? And so they have created this psychological energy that people want to step on your shoes and abuse of power. Period. And we fucking around with this shit. Nah, it's psychological warfare going on here, and it keeps going on. And this shit started with these white folks with their demonic ass. Why are we not sitting up here understanding that white people have mental disorders? Let me tell you something here right now. And they say you're crazy, but they crazy. Am I going to say not all? I'm just going to say what I say. Let me say this. I bought this book. It's called Happy Go Lucky Minstrel, okay, by Arthur Leroy, I think it's Kaiser. However, this book came from Hamilton, New York Public Library. This book was written around what, it was copyright 1929 by Fitzgerald Publishing Corporation. And I want to read to you some of this shit as they thought about us, the way we come across. You have to understand, they played us on the energies of Ebonics. Fuck what they saying. Speak your fucking Ebonics. At least you two understand each other. Every motherfucker don't need to understand. They told us we were wrong. That's psychological warfare. Let me say this. Here's something, part of the book. And remember, this is a minstrel show book, right? So this says Happy-Go-Lucky Minstrel. So I'm going to read to you Bones. Now, Bones is a black person. Okay? Now, is what it is. Now, this is psychological warfare, and this is what they think about us, but I'm going to keep it real. Listening to this, I said, is this Geechee? Because they get this language from somewhere. And I believe this is the original language of us. And they tricked our minds to make us believe this is Ebonics, this is bad grammar, this is bad English. But listening to this is a language. This is what it is. And we just sitting up here thinking, when they sit up and have those minstrel shows, or have black people, of course, in Hollywood, and we know are we not realizing that is language? And all along it's been language, and they told us not to speak our language. We understand each other. I remember them damn girls in the workplace will be up there speaking like a certain the Latin girls, but they got it from black people. I didn't understand what the fuck they was saying. They be coda whatever, changing the letters. I'd be like, bitch, talking about me, and I can tell. Well, here it says, I got the Ata one foe saving my half from drowning. Is that bad grammar, or is that a language? Is that linguistics? What is that? Then you have the person coming in. How did that happen? Then you have Bones, because Bones, remember, is the black person. Bones said that where Bo, see what I'm saying? Prohibition. I said, what the fuck is this language? Then Bones says, yes, sir. S-A-H. I was working, not working, but working in a beer, meaning bare feet, and bare faith, and bare fatery. What the hell? And I said, wait a minute, this is a language. And they tricked us to make us believe that we're speaking ignorant, right? However, this is another part where you have, I'm going to say, the white person ask Mr. Bones a question. So here's the white person. Mr. Bones, do you really think that men came from monkeys? Then here's the response of Mr. Bones. Yes, sir. And the way some of them act, I reckon they got round trip tickets. This is the book. You guys get it yourself if you want to, so you can understand what I'm talking about with language. All this time, we naturally speak a certain way. But are we picking up the ancestors of wherever we came from, whatever region? And we have these people who tell us we're wrong and give us a sophistication when language comes in different forms. We don't know what is what and what it ain't. But we have to be careful, because what the museum taught me is the fact that these people are crazy. For example, drugs, the psych meds, Parkinson's. Michael J. Fox? Muhammad Ali. These people who are losing their mind, is it due to these drugs? What the fuck? Because I forgot the name of the drug, and they were talking about how the drug affects people. And it causes people to rock back and forth, have a certain mouth movement. I said, that's fucking Beyonce. I said, and then it goes into showing you different neural effects. I said, so is that why Michael J. Fox, and then you have, what's his name? Was it from Bruce Willis? Then they had this room called the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Somebody will go in there and be like, huh? But it's something that it said. It said either they come in as crazy, as mental disorder, they become the mental disorder, or they leave out with the mental disorder. And it had the wall of mental. And Stevie Nicks' ass was up there. They said that bitch was a witch. Is she perpetrating? No wonder she said she's not one. Because she's not. She's acting as one. They had Billie Holiday up there. They had Robin Williams up there. They had hella entertainment. They had the woman from Gone with the Wind up there. It was hella people on that wall. And I said, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. And they were saying that they were getting these people from the psych ward, from the asylum. Marilyn Monroe's mother was allegedly in a psych ward. And they took a Marilyn Monroe away from the mother and then named her this actress named Marilyn or something. Marilyn Monroe is named after this certain energy. These people is not who you think they are. You telling me Krishan don't have a mental disorder, or this person who's perpetrating as her? We don't know what the fuck is going on. Krishan keeps showing that baby, and it's making me uncomfortable. I don't give a fuck what this is. They out here now making this big campaign on those children. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. And my grandmother took care of children with disabilities. I don't trust anything that sounds like a cat. But it don't even sound like a cat to me. It sounds like something else. I'm saying it because I don't know what that is. And if I'm offending you, then that's just what the fuck it is. And we have to stop with this trying to be politically correct. We have dumbass people out here, especially black people out here talking about everybody's a fucking hater. No, you're a hater. You're a hater. You talking about this, you're a hater. You giving the worst definition of a hater that people are not going to know what the fuck a real hater is when they getting hated on because you saying everything's a fucking hater. When you really getting hated on, you're not going to know what the hell is a real hater. Because everything, somebody is hating. Oh, I don't like Cardi B. You a hater. I disagree with this person's opinion. You're a hater. I don't think men should be up there with beards and shit wearing lace fronts. You a hater, bitch. Oh. I think it's uncouth that this man is running around with his ding-a-ling hanging out and people entertaining him, and he is up there with that man with special needs with no ears. as you guys call it, Mr. Netta. You're a hater. Palm Sunday just passed us up, and we know this is the stage of crucifixion. But we have to understand this is not the real time of what they call Easter. They're pushing and they change the frequencies. So this they changed it because they needed to do what they're doing now, and there's something going on in the universal soul with the skies and how they're fucking around with the energies. Okay, so I don't want to consider this time as Easter time, because this is not the real, as you guys say, spring equinox and all that shit. Nah, it's not. But I'm going to ride with what the fuck they're doing right now because it's very interesting. So we have this Palm Sunday. So we got Jesus rolling in Jerusalem on his damn fucking donkey and shit, and he don't know he about to die in a minute because he gonna be on that cross because he's a liar. And so anyway, so he rolling, he's walking in on a palm, well, rolling in, and he like, I'm Jesus, I'm the shit, I could do this, I could get a party going, I can turn water into wine, I could make you some fish, bitch, I could make your period stop for 30, because it's been rolling for 30 days. I denounce my mama. I don't know who that woman is. I'm going to denounce God too, because I see he ain't shit. He's a motherfucker. I'm out here trying to help you people. I'm going to sit up and get rid of them fucking demons. I've done all the above, and at the end of the day, I got to kill myself, become brand new, because you niggas ain't shit. So, and I got to go into my catacombs, whatever you want to call it, and rest for a fucking moment, because I'm going to be doing some spell work. Because, I have two energies. Not only am I Jesus, but I could come back as Lucifer. So we have Palm Sunday going on. Then as Palm Sunday came in, did you guys know there was this interesting lunar eclipse? And I'm going to be a little practical for a moment, because we have some energies going on in the air. And the energies incorporated the energies, I'm going to call it the demon of Virgo, Cancer, Leo, and Libra. And I said, God damn, those demons are out? What the fuck is about to happen? That's how I know who in the fuck is behind Mr. Man. I said, what Cancer? What Libra? What Virgo? They working in them energies. They need them energies going. That's a motherfucker. Then you got Mars in the fucking horizon. Then you got fucking Venus, the sun. Then you got the other sun, which is the star. Then you got this big ass moon that was close to Earth. But you guys are worried about April the 8th? Bitch, you should have been worried about what the fuck was going on yesterday. Not yesterday, but Sunday. Because after 10, it was I guess at its peak point. Then it went into its maximum point. I was peeping the whole fucking thing. I said, shit. In spirit, I'm not going to even discuss. So anyway, I do what I do, because I'm wayward. Anyway, I said, God damn. So then I went and looked at the moon. The moon was illuminating and it was bright. So by 11, it was in its highest point. Then it was shaded on one side. I couldn't see the shade on one side because the shade was more, I would say, in the east or going towards the east. I'm not sure. And so anyway, and then to understand the oxygen, water, and all of those energies that's connected to the moon. And I'm not a moon person, but I had to become a moon person this day because it was shit going on. People were acting weird as hell. Friday they was acting weird. Saturday they was acting weird. I was telling somebody I was minding my own business in this cafe, and I bought some coffee, but they gave me a coffee cup because you have to go get it from a portable dispenser. And I just tell people the story. And so I was looking for the sugar, and I said, "Where's the sugar?" And I don't see the sugar. So then, I looked out. I said, "Oh, it's outside." Cool. So anyway, I'm going to mind my business, and I noticed this Latina come walking up in there, and I could tell she worked at wherever, at the museum or whatever. So as I was minding my goddamn business, she was my height, and she comes walking up on me, talking about, "Where did you get that cup from?" And remind her she has broken English. I said, "Excuse me?" And she asked me again, "Where'd you get that cup from?" I said, "Where in the fuck do you think I got it from?" And she looked at me, and she asked the question again. And I said, "And where do you think I got it from?" And she said, "Oh, that's okay." And she walked her ass right out. I said, "Bitch." I had another problem with a Latina that day, looking at me up and down. I had to mug that bitch. "What's up?" Not all of us have fucked up faces and botched, bitch. That's why y'all better stop worshiping these damn black men. Worship your fucking self. Black men getting too beside themselves. They don't need to worship us, and we don't need to worship them. That's what somebody with spiritual constitution was telling me, how in gospel now they sing worship gospel or worship songs. And I was like, what the fuck is worship? Because in church they talk about worshiping. Stop worshiping this dumbass shit. I told you, ever since black women got out of line, out of loop, and the black man has taken the place, and you have people having these damn retreats. Remember I was talking about David Banner and all that? I don't give a fuck. Talking about your man is God. That nigga ain't God. We done fucked up listening to these conscious motherfucking niggas telling us who's God. What happened to protect the black woman? Do you see how that's disappeared? You better get back on your feet and be who in the fuck you are. With your mental case asses out here, black women. You a bunch of mental cases. You guys getting caught up in, they have you guys caught up in that polygamy shit. Talking about you won't have a man. Well, I sure don't want your ass. Because I don't want to be in competition with no other bitch. I don't feel like being nice. I don't feel like catering to him. I just don't feel like it. Black men up there talking about, you don't know what we go through as black men. I don't give a fuck. We go through things too in our emotions. Fuck your emotions. That's why y'all vegan and wear skinny jeans, skinny pants. Talk about you practice yoga with your emotions. Fuck your emotions. I'm supposed to be emotional, not you, nigga. That's why y'all got caught up with Kevin Samuel's ass. The spirit had to take that ass out. I don't know where he is, but whatever it is, he didn't need to be here anymore. In the name of Jesus, amen. That bullshit. They set him up real good to play the game and have you guys distracted. You guys out here looking and doing Tubi movies called Who's, where this woman got HIV, didn't know where she got it from, to find out she got it from her female cousin, having sex with her female cousin. Because then the female cousin talking about she liked having sex with her daddy who was molesting her. What kind of bullshit is this? And don't get it fucked up, because I know lesbians who have HIV and AIDS. Don't get that fucked up, because it can happen. But god damn, your cousin? I was looking at Sherry. Is she from Punky Brewster? She was in a fucking movie doing lesbian scenes. And I didn't realize she was on Family Matter. Was she Sherry on Family Member? Family Matter? Or was she Punky Brewster? You guys know who I'm talking about. I said, what's going on? Not every black woman want to lick pussy. What's going on here? Okay? What's happening? We got Palm Sunday, the lunar eclipse, the for real lunar eclipse started after 10, all the way I would say till after 1 o'clock, then through the night, through the morning, early morning, into the next day, we had this big ass moon. We had an energy that also happened on the 24th, that you had this alleged sun with another planet in the middle. We're not going to play games and be like what it is and what it ain't. We're just going to look at it for what it is. Saturn is not Saturn. Saturn is a moon. Jupiter is a moon. We just need to get rid of all those names and just call them moons and planets. It's okay, because we're calling them as the demons that they are. That's above your pay grade, right? That's why I talked about here the moon, because it makes sense what's going on, right? Leading this, what I'm talking about, I guess it was called, as they call it, the penumbral lunar eclipse. Palm Sunday, lunar eclipse, the sun with a planet in the middle. Got you. People acting iffy, acting crazy, mental disorders going on. Okay. They're creating a new secret society. Black people, you need to get back into your Prince Hall. Not this nigga shit. They're creating this new society of American civic renewal, that's deal with men, wealth. People talking about it's like a handmaid. They really don't want women in it. So they're creating this new society. They call it SCAR or something. SACR. As you're sleeping. As you're being distracted with this, we have a hearing going on where they calling all them motherfucker liars and deceivers. We have this woman that's saying her eggs was stolen from Hunter Biden and Madonna. Is a whole underground ring going on in DC and Maryland. And I don't know when this was recorded, because she may have said this shit last year or the year before that, and is just now getting out. Hunter Biden is caught the fuck up as you're being distracted. They're out here creating new laws, new movements underneath your nose. This, I would say that IVF stuff, you better look at that again. Because again, they're stealing eggs. They're stealing black women eggs. And it makes a lot of sense. I knew that was in Madonna. And Madonna has a mental disorder. And I'm like, why are we not talking about what this woman is talking about right here? She's saying there's an underground energy going on. And she said it's a brothel. And she said that Maryland and DC's law enforcement go there and be having sex, and they take these women and they're taking their eggs. And she's saying that allegedly Hunter Biden and Madonna is part of this shit. And some other high stake motherfuckers. Why are we not talking about that? We're over here talking about Puff Daddy. Let's talk about him for a moment. Okay. My son came to me, he said something very interesting. And he asked me, he said, what about Bow Wow? He haven't said nothing. Everybody focusing on Jay-Z, Clive Davis, and all these motherfuckers. That's not real. They are not the individuals. We want to know who's behind the motherfucking scene. If this black woman over here talking about Madonna and Hunter Biden, that's telling you those are just pawns. Those are decoys. You guys gonna say, oh my gosh, I bet you it was Nature Boy. I bet Young Thug, who Tory Lane, who over there talking? None of them. Let's reevaluate. Those are just surface niggas. Because let's really look at it, if they were really talking, and they most likely are, or whatever, or they know some shit, they're more part of it. They're the low man on the totem pole. We need to be talking about the Middle Easterns that's up in jail, them Indians that's up in jail, those attorneys up in jail. Remember Sweetie Pie? And remember when what's her name's son set up the cousin to be murdered for an insurance policy? Did you all not peep that it was a Middle Eastern part of that shit? Are you not tripping that Indians are a part of a lot of this trafficking and prostitution? You just be like, they're just tapped. They were talking about how the Asians, especially the Vietnamese, are owning these record companies now and hiring black guys to sell dope for them, allegedly. Let's talk about this. This is so we're gonna talk about what it is and what it ain't. So when we understand this energy with Puff Daddy, we have to understand he's just a low man on a totem pole, right? You know that rapper Designer, have you guys seen this shit that's on social media about him and how his girlfriend put him out there like that and said in so many words he's a crack baby and he's irrational? That is a hypersexual freak. He whips out his dick. That's why I told you about this museum that showed you. Bye. Okay, I'm doing a video. Oh, are those pans clean? Is that water? Did you look at your pans? Do you see all those spots in front? Is that water? Yeah, it's dirty.
Every time I try to wash these, it's like stuck right there.
Okay, do you need some new shorts like that? Okay, I'll go check it out. What size are those? A medium?
Is it that bad?
Yeah. Okay, well, what it is. I'll go see if there's some more. Anyway, Designer clearly told you, Panda, And they were saying the background where he got the song from. His girlfriend clearly was his handler. But there's something going on. So to say he's just a crack baby, that person has some kind of sexual frequencies going on with him. That means something happened when he was a kid. He was sexually assaulted, and he does special needs shit. I've seen this shit out of people, especially with Down syndrome and so on. They'll like whip out their boob, their body parts, and a lot of times people with disabilities, mental disabilities, they're hypersexual. Now, I'm listening. I said, oh, hell nah. He's hypersexual. He has a mental disorder. And you have to be careful of him. Because he'll come look up in your damn house. He's a peeping Tom. He whips out his dick. He must have a big dick or something, because niggas just don't whip out their dicks. You know, little dick niggas don't whip out dicks. But, you know, them big dick niggas don't give a fuck. They just whip it out. They have nothing to lose. Like, whatever. Because he whips out his dick a lot. But I'm just saying. That's a mental disorder. That's what I'm going back to. That's what we're not talking about. So let's talk about Puff Daddy and his dick. He's a freak nasty. You can tell there was some shit that went on in his childhood. We don't understand. When my son said, what about Bow Wow? He's saying Bow Wow was groomed from a kid up. This is going to be a future Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy was groomed. And it wasn't his father, they say, allegedly was a police officer in Maryland. This man hides in the closet and watches his women have sex with escorts. So when that Asian woman busted that shit out, that's what he get. What are they? Notice there's a lot of Asian women put in place. It used to be white women. Now they put Asian women. The difference is, notice white women don't run their mouth unless it's necessary. Now they didn't put, I'm going to be real, they put Asian women in place. They run their mouth. They tell on you. I know they do, because I've had them do it to me in the workplace. I had one. I remember her as her name was Rena. That bitch was jealous because we all got along. Me and these two white girls. We were chopping it up. And I was an administrative assistant. When my boss came from out of town, this bitch goes up in the damn office, and I knew she was talking about me. And she was like, it's not going to work out with her. I heard her. It's not going to work out. And she closed the door. So I got up with my cancer nosy ass, and I put my ear next to the door to hear what the fuck she was saying. And I knocked on the door, opened it. And I said, do you got something to say? And my boss was hella mad with me. I said, no, do you have something to say? Because you're in here lying on me. She was pissed. Oh my God. She turned red. We already know white folks will snitch you out. We know niggas will do it. But Latino people will do it for show, and they do it to each other. So I'm not tripping off them. Okay? Why don't you think they used to have all those issues going on at the post office and at these jobs? And I'm just saying, the Asian people are kind of the new moles. And I'm finding it interesting. They've been talking about Puff Daddy. Did we forget the chef who said she was enforced to get down with the get down? And is it Cassie or whatever? Isn't she Filipino and something else? I'm just saying. I'm just asking. Then Puff Daddy go have that baby with that woman, and then next thing you know, and shit is rolling. groomed, freak nasty, watching chicks. Because here's the thing. I don't feel sorry for these women who are grown as fuck. And he says, look, I ain't want to fuck you like that, but I want to watch you get fucked. And I'm going to sit up in this closet and watch you, bitch. You had every opportunity. When they say, he made me do it. No. Did he lock you in? He held you against your will? No, you like the money, you like the fame, you like what it is, and you went along with it. They all did it. And from what I heard, all his women did it. And we don't know, and we for sure know, whatever it is, there was something else going on with him. Okay. Danny Kane, everything. We can clearly see Puff Daddy has always been in that shit. He did what he did. I'm going to respect him no matter what. That nigga worked his way up, no matter how he did it. From crooking hooks, sucking dick, whatever he did. We seen his ass. You can't blame this one man for an industry. We can't blame him if this shit has been going on. How you going to get angry when prostitution and trafficking has been going on in the entertainment world and more? Nancy Reagan was a hoe. You don't think most of those president wives were hoes? You know what the fuck they saying about Coretta Scott King? She was sleeping with the Kennedys and shit, allegedly. We're going to stop playing games with these people. Maya Angelou, with her honorary ass, prostituting and fucking women, allegedly. Come on now, stop. Them white vixens. What the fuck you think your Marilyn Monroe was doing since you guys so in love with it? It's been going on. What did he do and what are they doing that has not been going on? It's just the fact that whoever bought up these studios and everything bought up the rights. This shit is coming out because whoever has ownership is revealing it all. It's kind of like, what is that let me see here. Quiet on the Set. The people from Nickelodeon. Then what the fuck was Nick Cannon doing? My question is, where are their parents? And why are we listening to this? This was already put together years ago. Did you guys forget when this Quiet on the Set initially came out and we just ignored like, I got you. And they've been talking about him and all of them? This was talked about in the early millennium. That's why I'm like, why are they bringing this up? This is a distraction. And you guys out here eating it up. What you talking about? That's what we know in front of our face. How about them? How about these people kids? And they talk about what them producers and writers, no, because they be part of it too. You'd be surprised how a lot of them be getting down. Did we forget how Ricky Martin was pimping out his nephew? Allegedly. Now it makes me think, dang, I think he probably was. Did we forget about the Jacksons, Tito Jackson's children? How they was up there talking about they was sexually assaulted and molested? Basketball players' children, all of them. I don't know where those kids came from. All I know is that their parents were not around. What's her name? Is it Amanda? Amanda Bynes or Amanda whatever? What is her angle? What, did she already have a mental illness? They were talking about how there are so many kids that were in the asylum. That had lobotomies, electrodes, and medicated. Some of them died. During the crack era, how many of them kids went into asylums? More than group homes and all of that. All them kids that was stolen from Haiti. Somebody brought in my comments, Katrina, where are them kids at? During the Holocaust, notice in them pictures, you don't see a whole bunch of kids, do you? Where did them Jewish kids go? Or alleged Jewish kids? Where did they go? Where did all those immigrant kids go? Where did those kids go when, what was that, when they cracked down on, was it called DACA or whatever was going on? And they went and sent all them parents back to Mexico and they kids was just out here and on their lonesome. And their parents couldn't come back. And they were put in group homes and even, they were even adopted out. In the Bay Area, they was talking, I think this was in Marin. Was it Marin? And a little girl was at school and she came home and they went and busted the whole apartment building. And like 90% of the parents were taken into ICE. And she was only living with one parent. Where did that girl go? They was talking about how in the Philippines it was a whole scam going on with underground shit. During the pandemic, San Francisco made hella money, especially from the Ukrainian and Russian women. Underground prostitution and trafficking. In New York, they were talking about the 40/40 club, how is shit going on there allegedly. This is none of my business. It's just that we just have to understand background. They did this whole energy to make us think as if Puff Daddy is the dumb dada. Nah, he's a scapegoat and he's just part of it. And he's the one who create these girl groups or whatever's going on, and then they get caught up. That's the price of fame. Then, of course, you have the other shit popping off. Think about these apps. Isn't that a great energy to hijack women and men? You see sneaky ass kids be on there and go meet these people. Remember the Web of Lies, that show on the ID channel? What you think that is? That's why you have to meet your kids' friends' parents, because the parents be into underground shit and peep out your kid and have their kid befriend your kid and you don't see your kid anymore. Come over spending that. Things happen at sleepovers. You don't think some of these teenage kids be part of the trafficking? America's top model, Tyra Banks. wasn't all that. But remember that Jocelyn and shit like that, the modeling industry being part of the trafficking and sex energy? Then you wonder what the fuck is going on with Eva. I don't know who that is. People thinking it's a man. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting suspicious of all these women looking like that. Because remember I was talking about Tammy Roman and she's looking the same way? And I'm real iffy. You know, to hear Tammy Roman when she was on her show, that cheating show, and the lady brought her child on it and she said the child looked yummy. Then I got all suspicious, like, is Tammy eating children? See, that's how my head goes. As black people, you stupid as fuck. I bumped into Erykah Badu talking to that damn supernova. And I was scared for a moment because I didn't realize he had his shirt off. And I said, "Ooh, does he have tuberculosis or something? What's going on?" And I looked closely. It's fucking tattoos of stars. Then I thought to myself, and I'm going to be a hater. I said, what bitch are going to go, well, what woman is going to be with him wearing fucking star tattoos? That's not sexy. What's up with this? And she talking all this spiritual stuff and water this. I said, lady, you a Pisces. I feel sorry for you because you another water energy. I don't even know who you are, Erykah Badu. I don't know the real woman. You up there talking about spiritual baths, but this is the real shit going on in this universe. Fuck a spiritual bath, because that's not going to help change any frequencies. And again, we're being entertained by these worshiping men. He has all those stars because he wants to be one, but he's not. Don't make your man the star. What are you first? But we're concerned about this, but you don't realize all of that's connected. Erykah Badu, Supernova, Puff Daddy. All of that, all that. And then it goes outward, who's behind them. Then you find who's behind them, they not even black. Right? So we got all this shit, and I'm like, dang, you guys. So somebody brought it to my attention that on the 25th, that Life After Death, that album came out with R. Kelly on it. But then I went back to Kanye West, to Jesus Walk, which was on the 25th. Then when I do the calculations, that connects back to Puff Daddy on the date that they allegedly went in and busted the house or did a raid or whatever they call it. I said, damn, that match. But then damn, over here with Nas, he was over here, said, what's it called? Hate Me Now. And it's dealing with Christ. Life After Death, Christ. Jesus Walks, Christ. Hate Me Now. Remember, Christ. He's living out. He already, it was really a prediction of what is going to roll out now, right? When you look at the number system, is what it is. When they went and busted the house, and TMZ is there again with helicopters, brought out people out of the house, arrested his sons. I said, what they arrest his sons for? Why are they walking out? What's in the house? They act like it's some females there now. Somebody lying on social media talking about it was drugs and guns. Well, if it is, it is. If it ain't, it ain't. But did they find them females, though? They had a Homeland Security investigation. They was doing too much. Then you got people lying. Puff Daddy knew they was coming. That's why that nigga was gone. He's a fucking Scorpio. They ain't gonna. They when you want to know some shit, you go to a Scorpio because they know what's on the street. Nigga, you about to get busted. What? When? This day. Okay, I'm out. That's what that is. When they told you he was pacing back and forth at the Miami whatever airport, yeah, right. TMZ gets all of this, and the inside energy with TMZ They don't have people everywhere. People are sending them this information. So that means there's a mole on the inside discussing this energy and recording. So all of that whole energy on the set, that was a good Hollywood movie. And then they arrested the sons, had their arms in the back. I'm looking at the position. I said, okay, that's the Baphomet. That's the goat. That's the whatever. That's the ram. I'm going to say the ram because we're in alleged ram season. Right? So I said, I see the symbolism. I see what's going on. They having the guy walk backwards out. Remember, backwards. They don't walk forward. They walk backwards. So they have him walking backwards out. I'm like, why do they have this? Why is there military? They look like military. What's going on here? All I'm going to say is just like what happened with Trump, with that raid that happened with Trump, is all in the documentation. What the fuck does he have that they want? And more shit is going to roll out. That Scorpio knows too much information. He knows a lot of shit. And people want Jay-Z and Beyonce to go down bad. I'm going to repeat. You better rethink that. Because it's going to be on cap. All this on cap. Trump was right about Fanny. Over there in Atlanta, that Fanny chick, whatever her name. And she up there fucking her help. Or fucking people. Then they turned it around and sued that ass. He was right. Anyway, I went to the left, went to the right. Y'all not even looking at the symbolism. Jesus walking on a donkey in Jerusalem. Palm Sunday. A lunar eclipse. A heavy lunar energy. People around here fucking around. The psychological issues with this psychiatry and medicines and people in mental illness. Puff Daddy is mental. He hides in closets and watches people fucking. He watches the mother of his children fucking other men. Do you understand there's some psychosis, especially with black men nowadays, that they want all these threesomes? You have psychosis. There's something wrong with you. That ain't cute. And then you force the woman into psychosis to join your shenanigans. You force the woman to say, you're God, you're God. I'm going to take care of my man. I'm going to shut the fuck up. Fuck it. Who are they trying to groom us for and groom us in? We need to be watching what the fuck is around us. People hate on us. They don't like us. They don't want us around. We should be doing work so we can remain in our place and change our frequency. Instead of talking about chakras, fuck them chakras. Shit, there's bitches out here watching what the fuck you do, how you move. And you getting distracted with this. This man is mental. He has a disorder. He was part of something for fame. It's a bigger energy going on out here. We have to stop this bullshit. They have all of this going on and it's all connected to Christ. We don't know where in the fuck Puff Daddy is. I don't believe what they telling us. And they talk about TMZ is conflicting. They be lying. Then when you go on the street and you go see what happened, you'll find what it is. First of all, let me say this. The whole thing was suspicious and everybody's face was covered that went into, well, let me say this. When you seen the children and when you seen them bring the people out, they were actually creating and making, as I'm going to be laming, the devil horns. I'm going to keep it simple. Everything was in an angle. Everything was what it is. It was all ritual. The military is rich. All of that, whatever that was ritual. The 25th is very intricate because, again, I just repeated to you, you got life after death. You have the various inner heavy energies of the song Hate Me Now, which goes back to this. In addition to, you have Jesus Walk. Everything is about crucifixion. I told you when that explosion happened, whatever that portal that opened during the lightning, shit was going to start happening. Then after this lunar eclipse and Sunday, now things, you have the Maryland, the Maryland Bridge that collapses, and people, it seemed like that was done intentionally and something is up. Like, what did they do? They sacrificed people? Did you see how it hit? And it did all that? That was intentional. They've been fucking around with Maryland for a minute. Especially with the gentrification and building freeways to cut off neighborhoods. Now you're going to sacrifice? That's like the Mothman Diaries. Is that what it's called? That's like San Francisco with the earthquake. And how the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bay Bridge kind of toppled. Then you have various parts of freeways that were led in different parts of the city. But in some parts, what I get out of it is like I think there was like a freeway that led all the way from like Fillmore or whatever into the Bayview. All that's fucked up. It over there in Embarcadero. What is that? Off of Oak? Or was it Fail? Is it Fail? You guys know what I'm talking about, whoever from San Francisco, but you know what I'm talking about. Correct me, okay? You know what I'm talking about. That's not by mistake. That's by design. That bridge toppled. What did they do? Was it an explosion? What happened? But it was intentional. They sacrificed them people. So we have this happen over here with Puff Daddy, Homeland Security. You got TMZ lying. You got people online lying, talking about what they found. I'm not surprised about no drugs. You got all them people who was up in there. Who gives a fuck? Allegedly, they stopped Puff Daddy and said he was getting on a private jet. First they said that he was in Miami. Then they said he was in Antigua. Then now he's in, what's it called? In Cape Verde. All we know is that Scorpio is somewhere. I was like, okay. They did too much. It was too much. It was overload. It was a distraction. I said, this is a distraction. What are they doing? Why are they doing all this? What are they distracting us from? Politics. They telling you about human trafficking, but they still human trafficking and stealing women eggs. That show, what's it called? Queen's Court? Is what it's called on BET with Eva Marcel or something. And I guess she's pimping men. That makes sense. Why are we entertained by this? Let's start looking at the rituals of it. I don't have time for nothing else. Because when I said stabbed in the heart, it makes me think of Quincy. It makes me think about, well, who is in his court? Did we just forget that his light-skinned son with that, what's her name, that Misa, lady? Did we forget how they said that they support Cassie and they will support her always? Did we forget how he turned against his father? Remember that? Remember when Cassie got that weird payout? And I think the Capricorn sun? And the mother, the one who's a stylist, gave their allegiance to Cassie, but he was at the house. And isn't that other sun in Aries? He's in Aries. At the Aries peak point, which is the 25th, the opener, the 24th. As the lunar eclipse is the peak. As it maximized itself in the morning. See, I'm in Pacific time. It's different in the central and east. Some of y'all were asleep. And then all this happens. Crucifixion. They playing with spirituality. They playing with religion and crucifying people and sacrifice. And we got distracted. The real energy is that bridge. The real energy is what the fuck was Hunter Biden and Madonna doing? What is this IVF ring going on? Stealing eggs. Stealing embryos. The psychological experiments going on. We are under a social experiment. And we are being sacrificed, neutralized. In the name of the Spirit, in the name of the Holy Ghost, in the name of whatever God that they out there feeding. Do you understand these are fleshly people in practical measures sacrificing you? And then distracting you with whole Hollywood. This is the new Hollywood. This is reality television at your best. We don't need to hire, Hollywood don't need to hire people off the street to do reality. This is reality. You hire cameramen from studios to record a whole scene going on. Then you hire people to come in force. Do you understand? They didn't leave until they started leaving around 7:20 p.m. in full 7:45. And it was weird because some of their faces, they was wearing civilian clothing, some of them, and wearing masks. That whole street was fucked up and them neighbors was angry as fuck. And some of those news people who were coming was fucking up other people's equipment, who was maybe small fry. Their equipment was fucking up their equipment. That they couldn't report properly. So for example, I'm just saying, say you have, KTLA, who is a bigger frequency, and you may have your small fry person got they shit. That, whatever frequency overrid it, and their shit will go out. They didn't want them to report the truth. I'm going to keep it real with you. That's another reason why they trying to get rid of TikTok. Y'all simple. Because TikTok be showing shit and people be on it reporting stuff. In addition, Because they don't report really live on Instagram like that. It's not the same reporting. And on Twitter, you may get, bits and pieces. Because say they record it and put it on Instagram, Instagram may censor it. Okay? So, looking at what was going on, I said, they lying? They lying. Something's up. And whoever he's taking this ass kicking for, they big. They in the universe. We just don't see them. And this is me looking at it from where it is, from again the rituals, the number system, the energies, TMZ lying. People should start questioning TMZ. Like, how are you everywhere? How do you know this shit? Because they're moles that sends them the shit. Puff Daddy was not, pacing around. That nigga gone. And some people believe that this shit was like that shit, like they just did this, but Puff Daddy been gone like a minute ago. Distraction. Distracting from Rwanda bill, immigration laws in the UK. What's with Rwanda, UK? Wait a minute, what? Distraction. DeSanto's up there talking about he don't want no Haitians coming. Bitch, are we back in the 90s when the Haitians came across and ran and they go back, niggas? And in reality, Haiti don't have to go to Florida. They can go right there into Texas. They can go right there into Mexico, into California. They could go into Louisiana. That's how close they are. Distraction, they keep pushing a certain lifestyle or gay lifestyle or whatever. And they could just teach that to your kids, but you have to get a permission slip to learn Black history, African history, whatever history, our Black Indian. Distraction. Legos don't have any food. Black women, I wouldn't go to Africa unless you investigate. They're talking about they coercing Black American women to go to Africa just to get their ass beat and killed and murdered. Riley Strain, the fraternity kid that went missing and they found him in a river. Was that an insurance policy? Every time they make a big deal about something, I got to look at the parents. If we go back to Kanika Jenkins and Kendrick Johnson, were those insurance policies? Do you notice how Kanika Jenkins' name is similar to Kendrick Johnson? And it's spelled almost similarly. Isn't that very interesting? When they show us on the media and make a big deal about people being missing, children missing, or whatever, understand there's something behind it. The 911 dispatcher in that Riley Strain case was very calm and nonchalant. Candace Owens, I guess, is leaving the Daily Wire. That's because they don't want her anymore because she speaks too much and she's black. We understand what it is, what it ain't, but it's somebody else that bought out the frequency and they're trying to make it cute and act like she just left. Nah, they don't want you niggas in shit. Amanda Seales is up there talking about she been blacklisted because of her political beliefs. Bullshit. You up there crying and shit, want to be part of them niggas for fame. If you about the revolution and you about what it is, then you should know that Black Hollywood is fake as fuck. And you have she has a different mark. A lot of people don't like her because she's annoying, but she's a Cancer. So I'm going to kind of go with her water energy. Somebody was telling me that she got on, I guess, what's her name? That Yee show talking about, Bambi was on there from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and allegedly said that she had sex with Scrappy. I said, Amanda Seales had no sex with no fucking Scrappy. That's a whole, allegedly he's a Capricorn. Is she a Cancer? Oh no, we fight. Now if that was a Taurus, it may be a little different. You may could get a little energy with a Virgo. But we end up fighting the Capricorn, okay? I don't believe that one bit. I believe that she sold her energy so she can have what she can have. I don't know. So apparently she's been blacklisted. That's what she believes. But when you're in this type of life, nobody wants to invite you to shit. You talk too much. And she's been around for a minute. But it's very interesting that she couldn't get the fame out of her and create a different market. Her and Candace Owens might as well just come together and build a whole new community, a new market. There's so many markets out here. And I understand where the world is trying to direct you. I mean, they have this new machine, this new energy where it downloads from the glasses, attaches into your frequencies and skin. It's like a human download, and it downloads the data in the glasses, come through. Then it's some kind of other gadget, and you put your hand on this gadget thing, and it downloads. If people are going to be out here and be revolution and speak, you have to understand you can't be famous. You can't worry about if Black Hollywood invites you or accepts you or anything. You can't worry about that because they're fake. But I'm going to assume Amanda Seales is fake because she's concerned about being famous and about being blacklisted and about having a manager. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people out of work, and I'm sure they may need some of your frequencies. Let me go back to when I was talking about Jeff Bezos. When I said that we helped finance him, he allegedly pledged $60 million to build a planned forward food system. That's spell work, right? And that's why I say he's a Bill Gates. And he has this energy, I guess, via Bezos Earth Fund. Basically, you're dealing with land, it's dealing with energies, it's dealing with food. That's why I say, damn, we help finance him. Meanwhile, remember that story that we heard about that white woman? I'm going to go back to that. The white woman that they busted in California, and they said it's been going on around the United States. Well, remember all of those robberies? Let me make it clear. You remember them robberies we will see from like Ultima, the makeup counters, perfume, makeups, and so on? Well, she's one of the people who hired those melanated people, because I don't know where they was from, to go in those stores, rush in, rob all that makeup, and then she gives them a little trinkets, a little money and plane tickets, and pay for their hotel room. So that's what was going on. Remember I said something was up with that and and paid for the rent-a-cars. So understand, Middle Easterns do that shit too. I told you, they in their damn liquor stores, they will sell a boost. They will hire a booster to steal alcohol and give them some change, and sometimes sleep with the booster to get the alcohol. I've seen that one. Okay? This is the same thing that was going here. Of course, they're going to use the youth and melanated youth to go do robberies and shit. The fuck? The Chinese was having people steal cell phones. Mark Zuckerberg is selling his home in the Bay Area. I don't know if it's a San Francisco home for $30 million. A lot of that is going on. I have Kate Middleton. So allegedly, what, she has cancer? Is that what they telling us? All right. Who is David Trone? He was up there saying that people around here acting like jigaboos. He's a Republican. I haven't heard that word for a minute, jigaboo. How come Soldier Boy is always on TikTok live? How come Kamala Harris, being the vice president, she don't know a bit of Spanish? How in the fuck does she go to Puerto Rico and they up there, singing in Spanish and shit? One of them look like he in Santeria, and they up there making fun of her, clowning the fuck out of her in Spanish, and the translator had to tell her, bitch, they talking about you. And she stopped that clapping in. Talking about cancer, how come we not talk about Rapper Forte having cancer? And I'm confused because the last what I heard and whatever, and I bumped into him by accident because my cousin know him. He walked in some years back saying that when Drake stole his song, that they allegedly in a trust have money for him. But he was needing donations for his medical care. But where's the money over here? Because what he said was that he had to remain clean to get it. I'm just asking questions. It's none of my business. But, look at Rapping Forte. What's it called? Players Club? Players Ball? You know what I'm talking about. San Francisco. I have a question. This Lume stuff, Lume. Why are people using that so they don't have to get their asses in the shower? Product. What's wrong with you? That's spell work. Why would you use something so you don't be funky? Just get your ass in the shower, bring you some wipes or something. I don't know. But to use something like that so your ass don't stink, that's a lot. That's spell work. Anyway, just a little frequency, just a little conversation. I'm sure more shit going to come up, but that's where I stand with that energy. And I'm going to keep it right. And I wouldn't be surprised with Mr. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, that there's going to be some other real energies that will cause some elimination and neutralization. But remember what I told you guys. I said there's a video rolling around from the 90s of who got shot. And when you heard the gunshots, you heard people hollering and said, what they say? I mean, what they say? I don't know if he was going by Puff Daddy, whatever it was. I'm going to say they were saying him. It was supposed to been Biggie Smalls, but they said, nah, is it, I'm going to say Puff Daddy. Is it Puff Daddy? Nah, they like hollering it. I said, wait a minute, what? Wait a minute, what? So I'm just saying who was really, we understand Biggie Smalls, but, some... And like that other conspiracy, I want to say conspiracy theory going around with Michael Jackson, because on the 25th of March, that's when Michael Jackson reintroduced himself to us. On that day, life after death. And that was a different Michael Jackson from the one that was 1983. And that was a different Michael Jackson when he came out with Thriller. And when you listen to the Thriller album, I said the album, that whole album was spell work. And they were saying that, allegedly he died, and then they brought this new imposter. And that was on the 25th of March when he was reintroduced to us. That date is an interesting energy. And I'm just saying, like, there's some interesting conspiracy theories, but I know what I heard, and I know what they said in the 90s. And what is it to have a decoy body? Because you need that person to live and go on. Sometimes people die by accident. Like, let's say, because it's two different things. There's two different stories. There's the story that allegedly he died here. Michael Jackson died over here and they buried him. And some people saying that he died of some kind of overdose then, which may have been fentanyl back then. And it may have been an accident. And they like, hell no, we need him to live. We don't know. Sometimes it's an insurance issue. It's like that story with them talking about that Chris Brown and Natalie Nunn on heroin. Allegedly. I said, damn, heroin still rolling around there, huh? Drugs. Anyway, this is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done.